to you by the wicked and wicked Koalition. For the 12 tribes scattered worldwide. Shalom. Will you hit dark skin to the most high, yeah. Say, Yahshua. Loosen up your bodies too tight. It's okay, it's alright. Here's a message from the 12 lost tribes. The folk can make a sad baby stop crying. Make fish without going start frying. I know you like it once you hear them stop lying. I feel good, I know you better just try. It's okay, it's alright. Yeah, it's alright.
The genius of John's record that we find in our manuscript is how he uses our Hebraic feast days to tell the story of Hamashiach, Yahushua. It's genius. It's another level. As a matter of fact, there's no level higher than this. You cannot go above this. The way Yahrahn uses the feast days of the Hebrew Israelites in order to manifest the Messiah, in order to showcase the King, is otherworldly. It's supernatural. It's divinely inspired. Therefore, when we approach John's writing, we ought to approach it with a great deep sense of awe and appreciation. Yahrahn is a Hebrew Israelite to the core. I'm talking, whoa. And he tells us why he writes his book and gives us his record inside the book. He said, I'm writing these things so that you will believe. That's what he said. Woo! That's what he said. He said, I'm writing these things so that you would believe. And he said, I just chose certain things to write. In John chapter 20, verse 30, it says, and John, y'all get your Bibles, this is the Shabbat. John chapter 20, verse 30 says, and many other signs truly did Yahushua in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. That means what is written, he chose it on purpose. He looked at all of the things that was written and he said, all the things he was like, now what can I choose to prove my point? And then verse 31, he says, but these are written. It's in the Bible, Holy Bible. But these are written that you might believe. That's the Bible. That's script. That's why he wrote it. He didn't write it to become popular. He didn't write it so that his name would be in lights. He didn't write it for views. He didn't write it for subscriptions. Talk more. Why did he write this? I told you yourself. That you might believe that Yahushua is HaMashiach. That's what the Christ is, and that's English. But really it's Ha the Mashiach. Where you get the word Messiah. That's why he wrote it. If y'all in the room and you can hear the moray clear as day and can see me and understand now that John wrote with purpose, put a 12 in the chat for the 12 tribes of Israel. It's genius, I'm telling you. It's otherworldly. He said because, he says, but these are written that you might believe that Yahushua is Hamashiach, the son of Yahuwah, and that believing you might have life through his name. So he wrote this so that you could have life. And the only true life that we have, is through his name. His power, his authority, his work, his reputation, and according to this, his resurrection. Because next on the prophetic clock will be his return. Now, you got from now until his return to make up your mind which way you going. That's all you got. Because when he show up the next time, he's not coming for the purpose of saving the lost. When he comes the second time, oh no, you can forget that. There will be no baby in manger when he comes. You can forget it. There will be no Herod making threats when he get back. There will be no lying Pharisees and scribes teaching the people against him when he get back. I promise. This is it. When he comes back, there will be no more bad mouth on him. You can forget that. It ain't gonna be no more of him walking dusty streets and having to deal with leprosy and when he come back, there will be no heathens fronting him in his face talking about if you are. Boy, that's them days. Like, look, Zion, them days over. Completely over. You can forget it. It won't be no more Caesar, Borgia images parading as him when he get back. You can forget that. John said, I'm writing this so you can get it. I'm trying to help you get saved. That's what John is saying. Yahrahn said, look, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you get saved. Because when he comes back, there will be no more time for that. You will not, when he come back, you will not call him Beelzebub. You will not say to him that he has a demon. When he gets back here, you will not say to him that Joseph is his biological father and that he was born of fornication. That won't happen. I promise. Whoa! I read it. How you know? I read it already. I read it. He ain't gonna have that. It won't be no more slapping him. You ain't gonna pull out no more of his beard. There will be no white Europeans forcing him to pick up Roman crossbeams. No nails will be placed in his hands. I promise you that. There will be no lying on him. There will be no fake crown of thorns put on his head. There will be no raggedy purple robe of mockery placed on my king. When he come back, nobody will slap him, I guarantee you. Nobody will whip his back all night long. It won't happen. John said, I'm writing this so you can get it. Why? Because when he comes back, it's over. It's over. When he comes back, he's coming back with judgment. That's it. His return will be for the purpose of judgment. He's not going to be saving the lost by shedding his blood again when he gets back. That's not what he's going to do. You know what he's going to be doing? Gathering. That's it. Gathering who? All of his saved. He's going to gather his remnant. That's what he's going to do. And then what? And then he's going to kill everybody who touched them. He's going to kill everybody who mistreated them. He's going to destroy everybody who dared touch the apple of his eye. His bride. His set apart ones. Oh yes, that's the way this book ends. That's what Paul was trying to tell y'all. You better repent while you got the blood. While your blood is running warm. Paul tried to tell you, ain't going to be no more sacrifices. I don't know what y'all doing. If you think that there's going to be another sacrifice for sin, let me remind you up front, ain't going to be no more of that. Ain't no more sacrifice for sin. No. That's it. And John says that believing you might have life through his name. Genius. Absolute amazing. John whole gospel is about the feast days. You pigment eating preachers can't see it at all. You law been done away with preachers can't see it at all. Pastors, y'all can't see it because you don't know the feast days. So you don't know nothing. The whole book is based on that. Even the book of the Revelation. I ain't got time to do both. But they're both based on exactly the same pattern. And the pattern are the feast days of the house of Israel. That's how this book is written. It's genius level, I'm telling you. And I'm going to show it to you today. And some of y'all came in the room trying to figure out who in the world is this preacher? And why are you trying to figure that out? Just let me tell you, that's not the most important question in the room. It's not who am I? The question is, who are you? Do you know who you are? Do you know whose you are? Or are you still slumbering in the lies of the European slavers? Are you still wallowing in the lies of your captivity? Are you still dead in trespasses and sin? Are you still on the broad way that leads to destruction? Who are you? That's the question. Don't be asking about me. Now you can have who am I, but that's not as important as do you know who you are? Or do you still believe the byword? Do you still believe the bywords about you? What do you mean by bywords, Mo Ray? The cuss words. The making fun of you words. The blasphemy words. The titles. Nigger. Spook. Coon. Trap. Thug. Hoe. Homemonger. What do you believe about yourself? African. American. You still believe that? You still think your last name is Jones? Smith? O'Toole? What do you think? Ask me who I am. Who are you? You don't know? You think you Baptist? You think you're a Methodist or a Catholic? Which one? Talking about, who is this preacher? No, 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 no. Who are you? Where are you from? Who's your people? And if you can't go no further than slavery and a plantation, you need to pay attention to the moral on this holy Shabbat. Because I got news for you. You are, the majority of you, are the bloodline descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You watching me on this holy Shabbat. If you are watching me from the land of your captivity, you are the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You're the scattered. You have a land. Don't let them tell you that you don't have no land. You have a land. We were given what's called the promised land. You have a language. We speak Hebrew. You have a Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach. He's your king. You have an Elohim who have chosen you out of all of the people of the world, according to Deuteronomy, according to Exodus. That's Yahuwah. Now, who am I? Dr. Yoshiyahu Dawi ben Israel. Called to be a seer to the house of Israel. Set apart from my mother's womb for such a time as this. And I'm more at the Awakening Remnant Koalition. Shalom, shalom, shalom to all of you, my Heavenly Father's children. If you can still see me all right and hear me, place a 100 in the chat. Woo, I saw blue wrenches and folk coming in here with hallelujahs and hand claps and carrying on. What was going on? Oh, you came to give him praise. I don't blame you, so did I. Y'all came to lift up the name of our great king. I don't blame you, so did I. I came in the room to fellowship, to worship. I came in this room that we might come out of the darkness and walk in the light. That which is broken can be restored. That which has been stolen will be returned. Now, I'm feeling good like a Hebrew should. You have a message today. Before we do that, I want to say something. Support the work of the ARK. I was in meditation, of course, last night, as I try to always do. And in my meditation, it just kind of impressed me that our people, especially those that Yah is trying to wake up. I use the word trying, you know what I mean. The people that Yah are waking up, this wicked society is trying to do everything to keep you asleep. Yah is trying to open your eyes. But Hasatan, the devil, and this demonic system that we are in, don't think that it's righteous and don't think it's Torah. It's trying to close your eyes. Yah is trying to deliver you. They are trying to keep you in bondage. Yah wants you to walk in the newness of life. They want you to stay with the old. Abba, Yah wants you to have life and have it more abundantly. But this world wants to steal, kill, and destroy. So in the meditation, obviously, I wanted, I'm like, yeah, I just want to be a help to the people. I want them to be free. And once again, the same message is impressed on me all the time. You must seek first the kingdom and his righteousness. The kingdom of Yah must become first. He's not playing games with you in these days. So seeking first the kingdom means you got to obey him. Remember, people were separated from him, and I'll get into that in a moment. There was a way to get back, but the way to get back, people didn't want to use it. I'm going to talk about that today. The way he said to come back to me, people didn't want to do it. He said, return to me. It's the last prophet that we have. I mean, there was other prophets, but this was one of the last prophets that we had before Hamashiach returned to me. And they said, how? And he said, will a man rob Yah? And they said, what are you talking about? How do we rob you? He was like, wow. And tithes and offerings, that's how. And it doesn't matter if it makes sense to you or not. That's the truth. And he said, that's your situation. That's why you're in your situation. Curse with a curse and separate it from me. Because you held the preaching and the teaching in contempt. You didn't think it was a big deal to receive the Torah, the teaching and the preaching, to support it. So you ended up robbing me. He said, how do we do that? He said, because whatever I give you in our covenant relationship, you ought to take 10% and give it back. Why? To help other people wake up to the truth, to encourage others, to support those that are full-time in the work. I'm one of them. And some of y'all been watching for years. Been learning every time you come in the room, your eyes open. Putting hallelujahs, and I don't blame you now. I'm going to say the same thing. I'm grateful to be used by him. So please don't think that now it is a labor. But please understand, for the moral rate, it's a labor of love. It's hard work, but I love it. And just because I love it, don't mean it still ain't work. I just love my work. I love my job. It's a fantastic job. Oh, I love it. But that doesn't mean that my love for the work means that the heathen is going to let me slide in any way, nor the staff, nor our outreach ministries. Nobody get to slide because we love y'all. They still want their check for the lights, for the mortgage, gas, for food and everything else. And even if I tell them, well, I do love y'all, I love it, people, I love my job. They're like, okay, well, and? So I have to tell the people, support the work of the ARK. I'm full-time. We're full-time. And you're putting Yah first in your giving. What? Listen to me now. It's going to change your life. It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. Do it and see. Obey and then see. Obey and then you're going to understand. I thought I saw Hannah project in the house. If Heaven Eye Project, shalom. I saw singing. Good to see you in the room. Queen is in the room. Yahrahn is in the room. Tanya's in the room. Pam is in the room. Ronnie in the room. Boy, Mavis, shalom, shalom. Well, we had a chance. Jazz and I hung out, of course, on my baby's birthday. My two daughters, my two baby daughters, obviously their birthdays on one day apart. And we had a chance to hang out. I enjoyed all of us being together. It's a beautiful thing. But we were talking about, we got on the subject of, because, Jasmine primarily is now working in that area to handle the business side of the art. I try to focus on the preaching. I just needed help. And she actually volunteered in the beginning. And then eventually we had to hire because this is a full-time job. And so she was saying, Dad, some of the most amazing testimonies are coming through this ministry. She was like, I've watched people who start off giving like $5 to the art. And we're grateful for the $5. Don't think we're not. She was like, and then next thing you know, it's $10. She said, then you could watch it, and then they start listening to your message. You could see the progression. She said, sometimes they go like to 40 or 50, and then next thing you know, they're starting to give 100 and something. She said, you could tell when they make the shift to the tithe. And then their tithing going up. She said, I can see it. She said, I said, I wasn't trying to be, I'm not being dismissive of all of what she's saying, but what did she write in there? Oh, what I was trying to explain is, as a seer, I can see. And I believe the Bible is true. I do, with all my heart. And so the Most High was telling me to teach it to the people. This is your way of deliverance. This is a step in the right direction. Once you make that step, watch how all the other steps start opening. The windows have to open first. Then the blessings are poured out, and then you begin to walk into blessings. I did a whole lesson. We did a series on the blessings. And the key in your hand, he gives you the keys. Because it is him, he's the one who gives you the power to make the wealth. So then he gives you the key. Every time you get money, he gives you a key to open more. Every time you get blessed, a key to open more blessings. Every time you get knowledge, there's a key to open some more knowledge. Every time you get there's a key. There's a key. Yeah, there's a key. He gives it to you all the time. All you have to do is use it. It's called the tithes and the offerings. I've been living it my whole life now. Well, since I was 18. I didn't know about it before then. I was 18 years old when I found out, and that was on the other side. But now that I'm on this side, and I know for a fact that this is covenant, and it's a covenant promise, oh yeah, we got to do that. And Toda Rabah for your support. It's definitely needed, especially in this hour, and y'all know it. Time is winding up. And thank you for those of you who have been a blessing. We try to reach out to many of you who gave special offerings and words of encouragement. I hope that you're getting these responses from us. If not, in a timely manner that you would expect, pray for us. We're going to get to it. But we are grateful. We are 100%. Because without you, we wouldn't be able to do this. So, Toda Rabah. All right. I want you all, we left off talking about something a couple days ago. And the Most High wanted me to continue in this vein. So I said, okay, on the Shabbat. I started studying again and working on the message. And I was just blown away at the fact that the way John put together his book. It is otherworldly. And I want to share that with you today. Because number one, know this. Yahrahn is your brother. Okay? He is not a god. Yahrahn is not a white man. He's not a European. He's not from Russia. He's not from the Ukraine. He's not from the Caucasus Mountains. He's not from the Caspian Sea. He's not from the River Thames. He's not from Utah. He's not. Where is he from, all right? He's from our house. That's our cousin writing this to us. Afro-Asiatic Hebrew Israelite writing to us, his family. And he said, I'm writing so that you will. The purpose of this book is that you might believe in Hamashiach. That he is the son of Elohim. And that believing you might have life through his name. At the feast of Sukkot, Yahushua, according to the Bible, his life was being threatened by the people he came to save. The people he came to save wanted to kill him. The leadership of our people at the time was so corrupted that they sought to kill the person of the feast. They were going to kill him at the feast. The Feast of Sukkot is about him. It's the promise that Yah would dwell among his people. And that Yah, as he dwelt among his people, watch, would bless his people. That's what Sukkot is about. It's about blessing. Why? Because he dwells among us. It's the whole picture. The non-messianic maniacs don't get this at all. No Europeans on earth get this at all. They can't see it because they still think that they're the chosen people. They can't see us as the chosen people and as Yah's people. As long as you cannot see the main characters of a story, I don't care how many times you read it, you're never going to understand the story. As long as you misunderstand who these people are and what this is about, you'll never know the Bible. That's why my place and my posture is unique. My perspective is always going to be unique. Why? Because it's the right perspective. It's the correct view. It's from the view of the descendants of these people. The whole book is written about the feast days, and your pig-meat eating preacher who don't know the Bible, and all those white churches and Mexican churches and Hamite churches who don't know the Bible, and European churches who don't know the Bible, Chinese churches, Japanese churches, all over the world. Nobody knows this part except the Moreh and a couple of more people like me. There's only a handful of us. What do you mean, Moreh? They reject, if you reject us, you can't see this. This is us. And as long as you're looking at somebody else, this insight ain't gonna never make sense to you. But for us, we can see it. They can't see this. When John wrote this message, this book, do you know in the first couple of verses of this book, he established without beyond a shadow of a doubt what he was trying to prove in this book, what the message? He was proving a point in the very beginning of his book. Go to John chapter 1. Let's just do it real quick. John chapter 1, he says, in the beginning, so he goes to Genesis. I know we got these campers talking about, well, we don't even follow the New Testament. Well, ain't no such thing as a New Testament, first of all. And number two, if you understood what these men were writing, you would understand that they did not see an Old or New Testament. They saw prophecy, and then they saw prophecy fulfilled. And it didn't just happen in the so-called Gospels. All throughout the Bible, there was prophecy, then prophecy fulfilled. Prophecy, prophecy fulfilled. Prophecy, prophecy fulfilled. Prophecy, prophecy fulfilled. And when you get to Yahrahn, nothing changes. He reaches prophecy, then he shows you the fulfillment. And he says the fulfillment of the Torah and the prophecy is in Hamashiach. And he said, and let me prove it by something that all the Israelites are familiar with. What is that? This is what he does. He says, I'm going to prove it through the feast days. So he starts this whole thing off. First of all, in grace, you're right. He starts it off with Sukkot. Okay, I got to go. I'm starting to feel something. Whew. His book started with Sukkot. And the word was made flesh. Here's the word. And tabernacle among us. He starts it with the feast. And as you go through the book, he just keeps going from one feast to prove he's the Messiah, to the next feast to prove he's the Messiah, to the next feast, to the next feast. And every time he goes around a feast, he shows you what he's teaching and what he's saying and what he's doing. And every single thing that he does is a fulfillment of Torah. For one purpose, to prove to you and to me and to the whole world that Yehoshua HaMashiach, from that fourth tribe, he's different. Joseph ain't his daddy. Never. As a matter of fact, his own mama had to worship him. Miriam. He's the word of Yah made flesh. So I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just showing you that throughout this whole book, he ties in these feast days. The same one that your pig-eating preacher told you done away with. He going to hell. He can't understand the Bible at all. This, He gonna have his people, just like, he had them dressing up like the devil a couple of weeks ago. He getting ready to have them sit down at the Thanksgiving dinner to represent the massacre of the people and the taking of somebody else's nation. He's getting ready to have them bow down to Tammuz in a couple of more days. They're going to be bowing down to Tammuz trees. They're going to be eating all manner of swine flesh and abomination that they ought not. He's going to have the people eating guts from swine. They're going to be doing good luck ceremonies by staying up all night, talking about coming out of one year, going into the next, which is the worship of Janus, which is the goddess of luck. Our new year does not start in the dead of winter, but they're going to have you doing it. You're going to have all kind of stuff happening. I'm telling you, they do it every year. Even though Dec mean 10, they just made December 12. Y'all gonna see it in a minute. Your eyes are gonna open eventually. You're gonna see that the more we've been telling you the truth. But John ain't finna deal with that at all. He not gonna deal with no Thanksgiving. He not dealing with Christmas. He ain't dealing with Valentine's Day. He ain't dealing with Father's Day, Mother's Day, 4th of July, none of that. Yahrahn ties his message to Torah. And how can the Torah be done away with if Torah is the message of salvation? That's how we see a Mashiach. Now, I see my time. I done pushed it all the way. I'm feeling so good. Woo, y'all have no idea. When he speaks to me and I can share it with you, oh my. But let's get into this word. Let's look at it. Go back to John chapter 7, where we are at the Feast of Tabernacle. And I'm not going to do all of the background. I'm just going to show you this verse. He says in verse 19, did not Moses give you the law, and yet none of you keep the law? Why go ye about to kill me? The people answered and said, you have a devil. Who goeth about to kill you? Now, of course, we already read in verse 1 of chapter 7 that Yahushua walked not in Galilee because he wouldn't walk in Jerusalem because the Yehudim sought to kill him. So right now you see that these people are delusional. They're mentally disturbed. They're psychologically twisted. They are under an illusion that they believe is reality. And their vision is so out of focus that when they look at Hamashiach, they see a demon. But when they look at a demon, they see their Savior or God. Ain't that crazy? When they look at Hamashiach and hear his words, they say to him, you have a demon. No, he don't have a demon, you do. He don't have demonic possession. He does not have psychological problems. You do. Hamashiach is not deceived. He's not under delusion. He's not delusional. He doesn't judge by outer appearance. He can see the heart. But because you can't see what he can see, you think he's the one got a problem. No. The problem ain't never with our king. It's always with you. That's why John recorded this. John said, let me put this in here because I got to show you how the people are. Why? Because they're that way today. You do know some people wake up to the truth and reject Messiah. It's these Negroes right here. They still in the Bible. See, these people here had children. And those children that are against Messiah, they still among us this day. Y'all know that, right? The pig meat eaters are still among us. The children of the ones that said, give us Barabbas, and said that to a white man, to a white boy. Said, give us Barabbas. And then the white boy said, why? What evil has he done? He said, it ain't about that. Just kill him. He said, crucify him and give us the murderer and the thief. Delusional. Our people are still like that today. These people had children and they live among us. And you have to be careful because they're always next to us. So whenever you're going to see a Yoshiyahu Dawid, Dr. Yoshiyahu Dawid, Ben Israel preaching this, somebody from those camps are going to pop up preaching something different, I promise you. And it places the people in a very precarious predicament. Who do I go with? This camp or that camp? This preacher, that preacher, whatever. And the more we're trying to tell you, they wrong as hell. They're delusional. Boy, why you say that? Anybody that's saying that our Messiah is the son of Joseph, biologically is delusional. Anybody that's saying that Messiah's birth, his miracle birth, is impossible for Yah. When the Bible says, is there anything impossible for Yah? And the answer is no. The answer is a rhetorical question. Then for a Negro to stand next to me and say, that's impossible, you don't know the Bible. You're false. You're the devil working amongst our people. If you're about to bow down your knees to Christmas, and I'm not doing it, I'm not the one delusional, you are. If you really thought that a white child was born in Bethlehem with blonde hair and blue eyes and all of European, born around all us black folk, boy, y'all, woo, you delusional. If you believe that it's okay to cut a tree down and bring it in your house, nail it down with nails so it won't fall over, and then put gifts under the tree and then make your children bow down on their knees to get that gift, you're the one delusional, not me. The Bible clearly tells us in Jeremiah chapter 10, don't do that. Man, that's the heathen stuff. And then, well, it's about white Jesus. Ain't no white Jesus. That's an illusion. Somebody made that picture up and then created a doctrine, and you believe it. That doesn't make me the problem. That makes you the problem. And the people making that makes them the problem. But they're delusional. So they saying this, I just wish Morehyosh would just shut up and stop preaching. Why? Because he's messing up my delusion. He's forcing me to see. And I don't like that. And so they turn it off. Click. All right. That's you. You got a choice. You got a finger. It don't change facts. They said to him he had a devil. Who going about to kill you? And the whole record is everybody there know they trying to kill him. Even the bystanders. I'll get to that in another message. Z, did you just get in the room? I just saw a blue wrench. If you did, shalom. Shabbat shalom. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Even people who were not from Jerusalem had heard the story or heard the rumor that they was going to kill Yahushua at this feast. Later on in here, you're going to read it. They're going to say, ain't this the one that they were trying to kill? So everybody knows. You get the point I'm making? These people are delusional. Telling him, ain't nobody trying to kill you, and you had a devil. So Messiah in verse 21 says, I did one work. I have done one work. What does he mean by that? I did one major thing. And you all marvel at that. He said, you got mad. You're so upset that you want to kill me. Now, this is the part I wanted to bring out today in the time that I have left. It's the part I want to bring out today. I want to show you what he did that made them want to kill him. Because y'all not going to believe it. You're not going to believe what he did to make these people mad, angry, upset, delusional, satanic, murder intention. You ain't gonna believe it. That's why I gotta show it to you. You're not gonna believe it. Go to John chapter 5. Go to John chapter 5. In John chapter 7, he said, I have done one work, and you all marvel. You mad at me? Let's see the work he did to see whether or not they're justified in their anger. Let's see whether or not they are justified in their indignation against him. In other words, when we read this verse, we're going to see whether or not they are justified in saying, let's kill him. Not listen to him, not ignore him. They wanted to actually kill him dead. Let's see what he did in John chapter 5 that made them want to kill him. See here. Let's go. John chapter 5. After this, there was a feast of the Yahudim. Oh. Hey, you pig meat eaters is in the room and you sneaky listeners. Did you see this? I thought they was done away with. Don't go to hell being stupid. If y'all can clearly see that once again, Yahrah's genius is that he's pointing out the feast days so that we can understand who he is. Place a 1,000 in the chat, please. Put a 1,000. If you can see in chapter 5, it says, after this, there was a feast of the Yahudim. Put a 1,000. Because all of you who follow the Moreh and follow the work and teachings of the ARK know we teach the whole Bible. We don't just teach part of the Bible. We teach the whole Bible at the ARK. So the question is, it says, now there is at Jerusalem. So we know that he's going to Jerusalem, which means this is a traveling feast. This is one of those feasts that we travel to. And it's obvious that if the previous feast he was that he did a miracle was Passover, and the one in chapter 7 is Sukkot, right? So if the previous feast was Passover, this one is Sukkot. What traveling feast? Oh, students, All the students, I'm going to let y'all answer. What traveling feast is between Passover and Sukkot? Put it in the chat. Let me see if anybody's studying the Bible. Let's see if anybody's studying the Bible beside the Moreh. No, between. Right. Shavuot. Who else put it in there? No traveling feast. Yes, Shavuot. There it is. Tahilah. That's why we have to slow down the teaching sometimes. That's why we have to slow down the teaching sometimes. Shavuot. Your dog got it right. Singing got it right. Now y'all putting in the right thing. Shavuot. We're learning on this Holy Shabbat. There's 7 feasts. Only 3 of them require travel. They're mandatory. That was Passover. And of course, Shavuot. And then Sukkot is the last traveling feast. Right? These are mandatory. All right. So then, and Todah Rabbah for y'all putting that in the chat. Now we're letting the whole world know. What? We're studying the Bible together. Now we're learning the real Bible, the real scriptures. Not the European twist, but the Hebraic, the people who wrote the Bible. We're seeing it through their eyes. Now there is, verse 2, at Jerusalem, by the sheep market, a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue, Bethsaida, or Bethesda. That's really English. We'll talk about that in a second. Now, y'all, don't forget this number 5. It has 5 porches to it. Not one porch, but 5 porches surrounding this pool. In Hebrew, just understand, I can't go deep into this right now. In Hebrew, our number 5 represents what they call in English grace. All right? It is the biblical number having to do with the wall of protection that Yah puts around his people. Right? So therefore, the significance of this pool having the 5 porches represented that this was a place of Yah's mercy. This was a place of Yah's blessings. This was a place where Yah's mercy was to be on display. And it says that in these, watching the porches, lay a great multitude of impotent folk. Wait, what? Yeah. These are people with no power. They sit, can't walk, can't move. Some of them cannot see, they're blind. Some of them are halted. Some of them, their limbs are withering away. So the question is, what are they doing there? The Bible says, more, take a deep breath. The Bible said they were waiting. the powerless. They were waiting. The crippled were waiting. While the blind were waiting. The deaf were there on the porch of grace, waiting. While the lame was waiting. The withered, preach more, Ray, was waiting. The Bible said the blind was waiting. The halt, they were waiting. I read it. It's in the Bible. I read it. If anybody else read the fact that they were waiting, they were waiting. They were waiting. They were waiting. If you read it, put a 500,000. I can't keep you too much longer. Put a 500,000 in this chat if you can see that they were. I read it. They were waiting. That's Bible. They was waiting. They were waiting. And when I think about it, and my mind began to turn it over, what were they waiting for? It should be obvious. Why the impotent was waiting for strength. What were they waiting for? Well, I just believe that the blind that were there were waiting. Well, they were waiting for sight. When I look at the text, I just discover that those that were halt were waiting on the opportunity to move again. And those that were withered, they were waiting. They were waiting on restoration. They were waiting. They were waiting. They were waiting. The Bible said they were waiting. You know, and I know what you're going to ask. More, why were they waiting there? Of all places, why are they waiting at this pool? Why on these porches? Well, the Bible said, because Gia, don't you be in here shouting. You go make the Morehyosh shout. I ain't gonna be able to finish my message. Well, y'all, they were waiting. I'm trying to get through the lesson. Well, y'all gonna have me shouting and we ain't gonna finish. Hold on, let me take a deep breath. They're waiting. Because why he would dispatch It's right here. He would allow one of his Molech, whether it was a seraph, I don't know, whether it was a cherub, I don't know. But what I do know is that it was an angel. Why he would come down. He would come down at a certain season. Now I know some of y'all thinking like, wait a minute, Maury, that sounds familiar. Oh yes, I hope it do. I'm gonna help the whole world right here. What do you mean a certain season? Do you realize that the Hebraic word behind a certain season is appointed time? I gotta go. Woo! Appointed time. That's the Hebraic word. He would at an appointed time. What is the appointed time? The appointed time is the feast. So at the feast days, and it seemed like this one in particular, he would show up and to let the people know that he was present among them, he would trouble the water. Yeah, that's what would happen. That's not too far-fetched. Maury, what do you mean? That ain't far-fetched. You know that, right? Our king has done that kind of thing a whole lot in script. Why he put oil. Yeah, and the oil sometimes will bubble over. That's not too outside of his realm of power. For I read about a guy named Naaman that went down into the Jordan River, and he had to dip 7 times. It's not outside the Torah where somebody step down in some water and get healed. That's not outside our Bible. I read where he could fill your cup, and next thing you know, the cup is overflowing. That's all I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to show you that this ain't too hard, for him just to let him know I'm here. Why, every now and then, the Bible said that the presence of Yah would come down and settle in the temple. At the time, his glory would be so great that no man would dare enter in. Okay, all I'm trying to show you is this ain't outside the Bible. This is not outside of our holy scriptures. When you understand the feast days and you understand that they are appointed times that he tells the house of Israel to gather. So here the house of Israel is in obedience. And they're gathering with anticipation. And the anticipation at this particular Sukkot, among the ones that are impotent and halt and blind and they go so that they can get close to that water. Now, everybody else may be going for a party. Everybody else may be going to just high five and play little dominoes or whatever. Everybody else just want to, talk about how you doing and everything. But there's some people showing up. They're not there just for the festivities. They ain't there for the show. They're not there for just the singing and dancing. Some of these people showing up because they need to be healed. They're showing up because they need to be fixed. Some people showing up because they're broken. They need to be put back together. They're showing up because the Bible said that Yahushua will be among them. And what he had an angel do. He said, now look, go down there and just trouble the water. You ain't gotta do nothing but just trouble the water. And the first person that's able to step in the water when the water was troubled was cured. The Bible said of whatever disease he had. That's why from time to time you might catch the moray singing, wade in the water. That's it right there. Yeah, every now and then you may catch me singing, wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. Why? Because young is going to trouble the water. What y'all don't understand is oftentimes our healing is a result of troubled water. I said, yeah, the troubling of the waters around us seem to be one of the most unlikely cures. You're going to fix us with troubled water? Why don't you give us smooth water, crystal? Why the water got to be troubled? It's symbolic. That's why. I don't know if Jazz still in the room. Jazz, do you know that you just can't throw clothes that are soiled into a bucket of water and then pull them clothes out and think that them soiled clothes are going to be clean? It don't work like that. Singing, I've been around a long time. I ain't never seen nobody take off some dirty clothes after they get out of work and just put them in water and then just take them out the water and everything is all right. I've never seen that before. So you already know what has to happen. What is that, Maury? Why, in order for the garment that's soiled, in order for it to be clean, there's gotta be some agitation. There's gotta be some troubling. There's gotta be some, you know what I'm saying? Why? And when you saw that, they had to step in. I know they said, no, we ain't gonna get in. You better get in. That's how you got healed. That's how you got clean. You would watch what Yah was doing and get involved. So while everybody else was having fun, and frolicking at the feast. These sick folk, these impotent folk, blind, halt folk, and withered folk. Now they said, we're going to wait for the troubling of the water. Now, if y'all still in the room with the Morehyosh, you know I'm going to have to really work my way to a conclusion. But if you're still in the room with the Morehyosh, put a 700,000 as I press on this holy Shabbat, as I press toward my close, and told I would buy for them 700,000. Y'all ought to support this kind of preaching and teaching. It's going out worldwide, helping people. As I've been preaching, you seeing this text like you ain't never seen it in your life. I understand. But I know that this kind of teaching and preaching can continue to come if y'all continue to support the work. Let's look at it. And a certain man was there. Verse 5. And a certain man was there. Where? On the porch. On the porch of grace. On the porch of mercy. He was on the porch of mercy. He was at the house. He was on the porch. But he wasn't in the water. And a certain man was there which had an infirmity of 38 years. And when Yahushua saw him lying, he knew that he had been there a long time. In that case. And he said unto him, will you be made whole? That's what he said. He was talking to him directly. There's a multitude, which means probably 2,000. At least 1,000. But a multitude often meant at least 2,000 people. Sick folk trying to get into that water. He went to one of the 2,000 and said, hey, do you want to be whole? Do you want to be made whole? And the name of my sermon is Ready for Restoration. Would y'all put that in the chat, please? Everybody write that in the chat. Ready for restoration. Our king said unto him, are you ready? That's what he was saying. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to be restored? Are you ready to be made whole again? Are you ready? Why, that's a question that I, as a Moreh at the Awakening Remnant Koalition, I'm asking those of you that's watching. Are you ready? Or do you still want to play games? You still want to put on a show? Or do you still want to wallow in your own self-pity? Do you want to be made whole, or do you want to still look at yourself as down and out, black, which means demonic, satanic, hood, trap, roaches, whore, humbug. I'm just asking the question. Are you ready to be restored to your rightful place? Are you ready to be restored to your king? Are you ready to be restored to your covenant? Are you ready to be restored to your ancient culture? Are you ready to be restored to the right way? Restored to the truth? Restored to life? That's what he asked him. Are you ready? Now, what's the response? The man said, sir, I don't mean no harm here. I'm just saying, sir, I have no man. Stop. I didn't ask you what you had. Messiah said, I asked you what you had. I didn't ask you what you had. Neither did I ask you what you didn't have. When you operate in delusion, you can't see. But I also realize something. When you operate delusional, you also can't hear. Because if he actually heard the question the way he was supposed to hear the question, his answer wouldn't be, I don't have a, no, we didn't ask, that ain't the question. Yo, our king had already established three things. What is it, Moreh? One of the things that our king had already established was our king established, number one, that he, who? The king, saw him. That's established. Moreh, come on now. I want y'all to see it. It is established that our king saw him. Out of the 2,000 people at that pool, our king saw him. The Bible says it. In verse 6, and when Yahushua saw him. The idea behind that word is incredible. I have sermons on this particular verse, on this word, by the way. The idea of ra'ah, which means to not only to see, but to perceive, which means when you see what you're seeing, you also understand what you're looking at. And when you see it and understand it, then this word ra'ah means that you not only see, but you perceive. And the perception is connected with compassion. Say it again, Moreh. Okay. I said ra'ah is not just to see. Everybody could see. There's people there. Not what the Messiah was doing. And that's not what John is trying to say. Hebraically, what Yahrahn is trying to tell the world is Hamashiach perceived this man's condition perfectly, and he had compassion. have compassion, he then personally took responsibility. Watch this. To do what he could do. Okay, I ain't gonna finish, but ooh. Now, didn't I tell you that them 5 porches represented grace? Out of 2,000 sick, blind, halted, maimed people laying around by that pool. Watch the limitless grace. Watch the overreaching grace. Watch the unnatural mercy. Watch it. Watch the divine. Watch the divine appointment. That's what I'm trying to get through. There. Watch divinity as it moves in this situation. And divinity begins to focus on the individual. So that all 2,000 people didn't get up, but that one. Well, that one, he saw him. And I want to talk to you that's watching the moon rate. You wouldn't be here if he didn't see you. You wouldn't be watching me. You wouldn't be listening to the word. He wouldn't be showing you this passage if he didn't see you. Do you understand how many people in the world? Do you know the population of humanity? Do you know how many people carry a Bible? Do you know how many churches there are in this world and fake preachers and pastors? And you get an opportunity to come in the room with a real seer to show you this passage. That's grace. That's him going above and beyond. That's him seeing you. And that's him knowing your situation. That's him ready. One of our names of Yah is Yahuwah, who sees me. Look, now your mind is running up. Oh yeah. Why Hagar? She was fleeing from her mistress. Her son, her and her son, little old bottle, about to run out of water. And Yah said, Hagar. And she was like, oh. He said, I can see you. You can be all right. You'll be all right. I got a whole well of water right there. Look at y'all. Look at y'all. Look what's happening to the chat right now. Look what's happening in your life, in your home. Look at the joy bells ringing. Why? When a seer show it to you, like, oh my. Oh yes. He saw him first. And whenever Yah sees, like he sees here, Ra'ah, he is preparing to change you. He's starting the process of your transformation. He's starting the process of changing your condition. And how do you know? Because he asked the question. Do you want to be made whole? He's asking the question that seems rhetorical. It's not a rhetorical question. It's a real question. You have to answer that question. And the man started talking about, sir, I ain't got no man to help me. He said, well, hold on, bud. We ain't talking about that right now. Where is your answer? I want you to know something, sir. I want you to know something, man. Not only did Hamashiach see you, but verse 6 said, he know you. So all of that explanation is not really necessary because he knows you. If y'all saw that, put an 800,000. I'm about to go. Put an 800,000. He saw him. He said, but he also knew him. The Bible said he knew him. This is in verse 6. And knew that he had been now a long time in that case. He knows. Look at them 800,000s rolling. He knew him. He not only sees, but he also knows. And what he knows is your case. What he knows is your situation. He knows your hurt. He knows your pain. He knows your sorrow. He knows everything about you, and he also knows how long you've been like that. In this man's case, 38 years. He not only knew the man, he knew his time. He knew how long. As I was able to think about the text a little deeper, my mind changed a little about this man. Because I used to think that he just didn't want to be healed. Until I realized this was a feast day. Okay. At first I thought, oh man, he just making an excuse. But then I started reading the Bible a little deeper, and I said, man, hold on, man. Hold on, boy, right? Before you pass judgment on this fella. He went to the feast. Is Yahrahn still in the room? Oh, Jill's in the room. I'm talking to some of my administrators. I said he went to the feast. What does that mean? 38 years in a row. He didn't miss the feast. Lame. 38 years. He didn't miss it. How? Couldn't move. But he made sure he was at that feast. He made sure every year for 38 years, no matter what he was doing, during Shavuot, I'm getting on that porch of grace. I'm going to the house of mercy. I'm going to be there just in case that angel show up and trouble that water. I got to get in there. And every year somebody had to tell him, man, you crazy. Man, ain't gonna nothing happen. Man, you been coming here, man, 5 years and you still the same. And he's like, that's all right, I'm gonna be there 6. Boy, he went home and said, yeah, you still keeping the laws and the statutes and the commandments? I thought you believed. Look at you. You still, can you hear his cousins? Hey, Negro, y'all, man, you didn't let that, man, that whole keeping the feast and all that, what has it done for you? Look at you. Look at your legs. Look at, you can't even get to the feast. You got to always ask somebody for a ride. Boy, they play the dozens on him. Boy, they talk about him bad, just like they talk about us. Y'all, this is Bible. They going to talk about you just like they talked about this man. Why? Because your healing ain't came yet. And then they say, so what, he don't care about you? What do you mean? I mean, you've been coming here for 15 years. Yeah. And you still broke? Okay. I'll be here year 16. Broke. believe the promises. That's why. See, I don't give up on Yah. You understand that? I don't throw in the towel on him. He don't have to show up when I want him to. I just have to be ready. That's all. I just have to. I gotta be ready. I gotta be ready for my restoration. Some of us are not being restored right now because you ain't ready. You haven't even been faithful over the few things, but you want him to make you a ruler over many things. You're not ready. You want to walk in health, but you want to eat pigs. You're not ready. What are you doing? You want wealth, but you don't want to tithe. You're not ready for wealth. You're not ready. You're not ready for. I think you all know this by now. The word is out about riches and how riches in the hands of people that aren't ready destroys them, destroys their community, destroys their family because you ain't ready. You're not ready for health and strength. Why? Anger and murder in your heart. Right now, if some of y'all got healthy, there would be a missing Hebrew somewhere. There'll be a missing Israelite, boy. It'll be because you would use your strength for wickedness. You mad at somebody right now, and the only thing keeping you away from them, you ain't got the gas money. That's why you ain't gonna never get the gas money. Some of y'all ain't got the airline ticket money. That's the only reason that you ain't locked up in prison right now. Is because Yah is not giving you enough money to get an airline ticket to go do the wickedness that you want to do. He's keeping you right where you are until you're ready. You ain't ready. You're not ready for restoration. You still concerned about church anniversary, $1,000 and $2,000 giving lines. You still worried about she shut the door. I'm like, goodness gracious. Yeah, y'all not ready. And some of y'all not ready for this kind of preaching. You wasn't ready to see the Bible like this. But Yah has his own timing. I read this and I said, he saw the man. He knew the man's condition. He knew how long. And it showed me another thing that this man was serious about his healing because he kept coming for 38 years. So what he was saying to the Messiah in his answer was, I've been ready. Hey, if anybody heard the Moreh, would you put a 900 in the chat and type in, say, I've been ready. That's what this man was saying. He said, I've been ready. I've been coming up here 38 years. I've been ready. Ready is not the problem. Ready is not my situation. Well, what's your problem, son? Well, it ain't that I ain't ready. My problem is my situation is different. See, everybody else, you see, they come here, if let's say they're blind, they can still hear the troubling of the water. And they can step in. There are other people here, their hands are withered, but their legs work. So they stand by the pool, and during the troubling of the water, they step in. He said, but me, my legs don't work. So I need a man to help me. If I try to get in the water without help, it's possible I could drown. And there's so many people here that have other people to help them. I don't have that. Um, I when the trouble of the water starts, it only troubles for a while, and everybody is concerned about themselves. Which I understand that, but by the time I'm able to even holler for, all the people that get in first, they got healed, and then the troubling is over, and then I go home and I get a ride home, and I'll wait till next year. Uh, it's really sad, actually. I I can't reach it in time. That's what I'm saying. I can't reach it in time. I'm be so close. But I keep missing. I keep missing it. I make it right to the water. And if I could just get a man to help me, just some help. It ain't a factor whether I believe or not. I believe. I need some help. And if I ever do get close, I'm trying. And then other people, they get in front. They step in the water. And that's my situation. I'm the one who's overlooked. I'm the one who people walk over. I'm the one without real help. If y'all still in the room with the moral race, put another 900,000, and I must bring this sermon to a conclusion. I told you that he saw him. I told you that he knew him. And then he asked him. But why I'm going out when I tell you what he told him. That's my last point. What did the king tell him? See, when he said, I have no man to help me, he didn't realize that his help was right there. When he said that he did not have assistance, he didn't realize that his assistance was standing right there. When he responded that I can't reach the water, he didn't realize that at that moment he was not being required to reach the water, but the water had been required to reach him. Yeah, that's all. That's all. That's my last point. That's my last point. I said, why he was on the porch of grace and didn't realize why that he was laying literally at grace personified. Why he was looking for mercy and didn't realize that mercy was looking for him. He was seeking a healing and not aware that a healing was seeking him. Y'all get it now? He was without power and did not realize that the power he was seeking, why was seeking him. He was tired of being impotent. Why what he wanted was to be made whole. And he said, I don't have nobody to do this, but what he didn't understand was, yes, you do. I don't know about yesterday. I don't know about 2 days ago. But I want you to know something, bud. I've been watching you for 38 years. How are you watching me for 38 years and you're only around 29, 30 years old yourself? He said, don't worry about all that. You don't know who I am. Why, I'm not from here. See, you don't really understand this feast. You don't know what this, I know you understand that you're supposed to come up here, but you don't really know what this is really all about. This is about me establishing my covenant with my people. And in my covenant is restoration. In my covenant is restoration. In my covenant is wholeness. In my covenant is a promised land. In my covenant, why leaves on trees can heal nations. You don't know, man, you don't know what you're dealing with when it comes to me. Look here, man. Look, I hear you. I saw you. I know you. I hear you. But now I gotta tell you. Tell you what. Get up, bud. That's all. I gotta go. Get up. What, Morey? Get up. That's what I said. And this is my message to you. If you're hearing my voice, get up. Take up your bed and then what? Walk. What? Yes. This feast is just not about a porch. It's not about water. It's not about a temple. It's about our King. Yeshua is saying it's about me. You came here really for me. Don't worry about this porch or the angel or that troubled water. What you need to do is obey me. If you obey me, you're going to see your whole life change. He was like, wait, what? Get up. The Bible said immediately. More immediately, yeah, like right now, he got up. I read it. I read where the Bible says he got up immediately. I got to get out of the room. But look, y'all better hear the more. Immediately the man was made whole and took up his bed. Did you see it? And walked. And on the same day was the Shabbat. Yahushua fulfills the intended purpose for the Shabbat. The restoration of a nation. So not only does he fulfill the feast in the fact that he reestablishes his covenant relationship. Oh, I got so much more to say. I just got to get out the room. But he also restores the Shabbat to its original purpose. And that's the restoration of the house of Israel, which represents where this man is. It's his restoration. Not, listen to me, y'all, all over the world. Hear the more. This is not a picture of physical healing alone. The Bible just doesn't use the word healed here. The Bible uses the word, John used the word whole. So the idea then is something that was broken, something that was missing, something that was not present was placed in him so that he was not just healed, he was whole again. It's the picture of you and I coming out of 400 years of captivity. Our King watching us, trying to keep his feast days, trying to keep his covenant, trying to follow his word. He put his best foot forward. He was lame. He said, I ain't got no help. The master said, I am your help. Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm your friend. I'm your man. Don't worry about that water, bud. You don't have to do that. I'm just going to heal you right now. Don't worry about getting in the water. Don't do it. I'm here. The man got up. The Bible says immediately he got up. He's like, man, I ain't got to stay down here no more. No. Look, you still got to come to the feast. But this time, you can go in the party. You can go celebrate. You can go sing and dance. You can have a testimony of what I have done for you. Y'all put a 1 million in the chat. Put a 1 million. You know that this kind of preaching is few and far between. Support the work of the art. Y'all can see it. I'm going to get into this next week. But did you see what miracle he did that they got mad at him about? They got mad that he cured this man. That's what I'm trying to show you. Delusional. Messed up. They were upset with Messiah because of this right here. Why? Because they were making money off of the people staying sick. Just like this wicked world and these wicked churches and these wicked leaders that are calling us and saying something wrong with us because we're healing people, delivering people, restoring people. We're becoming whole again. But there's something wrong with us. No, it's something wrong with y'all. God, this is a great work. 38 years mirroring our wilderness journeys. I ain't got time to get into that right now. I got to get out the room. But y'all don't understand. It's time to wake up. It's time to get up. It's time to know he sees us. He knows us. He commands us. I gotta go. But if you're ready to be restored, put another 1 million in the chat. Yes. It's our time for restoration. More win. Now, get up. Make your choice. Obey him right now. Tithes, offering, law, commandment, everything. Start right now. Don't even say, well, you know, tomorrow I'm going to try to get started. No, start now. Immediately. I'm going to show you something else in here next week. I need your piece to keep funky with me. Hold on. I need your piece to keep funky with me. I need your piece to keep funky with me. I need your piece to keep on. Y'all put a hallelujah in the chat. Told I rebound for all of you, my father's children. I know I went long today, but I had to at least get that point out. Y'all need to see this. Why would you want to kill the one that's restoring us? Why you want to get rid of the one that's making us whole? Don't make no sense, huh? Because they're delusional and satanic. But it doesn't matter about them. It matters about you. You listen to me. You watching me. Listen. We have a king. I need your piece to keep funky with me. I need your piece to keep funky with me. I need your piece to keep on. The question is, are you ready to be restored? I am. I'm all right. You heard me. One love, Zion. Pray for me. And I'll be praying for you. Shalom.